Hi students! Welcome back to English for Nursing class with me, Maya. Today, we are going to learn about how to make processed speech in respiratory system. Specifically, we will find out how to explain a process. It is obviously important because as a nurse, you are going to give health education either to your patients or to the community. For that reason, at the end of this lesson, you are expected to be able to use the correct and systematic phrases in delivering speech education to your patients or to the community. To begin the speech, you need to deliver powerful opening. This is to tell why people have to listen to your speech and explanation. What are the benefits? You also need to explain the meaningful steps of how you could easily achieve something. And last is the unforgettable closing, that is your summary. To make it easier for delivering speech, we can use the hamburger of speech. Hamburger, as we know, is basically made of at least by 3 layers: the top bun, the filling, and the bottom bun. In the process example, the top bun represents the opening, the filling represents the body, and the bottom bun represents the closing. Now, let's learn how to construct the speech on respiratory system. In the opening, you can say the interesting facts about the things you are about to mention. By then, you give the hook and gain the attention from the audience. You also need to tell about the benefits, whether the topic you explain is beneficial for them, and present some believable facts to convince the audience. In second part, which is the body, you have to present it in systematic, simple, and complete way. Hence, you can organize it in sections like section 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Finally, in the closing, you can give summary and final message. Next, I'm going to teach you on how to write and present the process speech. So, we are going to talk about the importance of checking blood pressure. First, based on the hamburger of speech, we need to gain attention of listeners on why they should listen to your explanations. Here we could show them about shocking data, and then we can mention the benefits that they could gain by checking blood pressure. For the opening, remember that you need to present the fact and scientific data. Do not present your personal judgment or assumption. Finally, you need to provide the overview of the body paragraph that you are going to write. It is going to be the details. For example, in checking the blood pressure, there are 3 sections or steps that one will take. What are they? Please elaborate that to audience. Next, as you have finished the opening part, we are going to the filling part. It is the body of the process speech. We will present the meaningful steps, which are systematic, simple, and complete. So, before we promise them and give them the overview about the 3 major sections in checking the blood pressure, I expect that in this part, you are going to talk about the first section, that is the materials you are going to use, and then the systematic procedure on how to easily check the blood pressure, while the third section is how to interpret the data from the blood pressure results. Lastly, at the bottom band, that will be the closing. That will be the emphasis or the importance on checking the blood pressure. Here, kindly check again why they should check blood pressure. You can also restate the major statement that you have made in the body paragraph just to make sure that people really have understood what you have explained. The very last part is your final message. Remember that in this part, you can be a bit personal because you want to make them educated and you want to touch their lives by your precise speech. And that's all. Now let's take a look at the passage that has been written according to the Hamburger outline. So on the slide, as you can see, this is the powerful opening which presents the interesting, useful, and believable data. On the right part, you can see that is functioning as a hook which attracts the attentions of the readers. You may notice statistic data in there, which is to show that this is the real data and that they have to take a look at it. Then the second, on the blue part, as you can see, that's the benefits of why people should look or listen to your explanation. So the last one, the purple one, is the outline to give overview on what you are going to talk on the feeling part. Can you see? There are three parts there, which are gaining attention, presenting benefits, and giving overview on the outlines for the feeling parts. The second is about meaningful steps. I have mentioned earlier that in the body parts, it should be systematic, simple, and complete steps on how to accomplish something. Previously, in the overview, we have given them a hint about what we are going to talk in the body part, and we provided in section. So, presumably in the first sections, we are going to talk about gathering all materials. So you can see here that there are materials we need in part A and B. And then the second section is about following the specific procedures of how to actually check the blood pressure. You can see on the slide, I have provided you with steps from A, B, C, and D. These steps will guide you and give you the steps on checking blood pressure. The next steps is interpreting the reading. Of course, you want to tell them on how to read the data from the tools, right? So you can have a look here that basically there are figures in the data. So you tell them how to read it according to part A, B, and C. Now let's proceed to the last part, which is the unforgettable closing. Here you can include three things. first is the restatement of the importance, the highlight of steps you have explained, also a personal message on why you think they should do something, like checking the blood pressure. As you can see on the paragraph, the purple part is the restatement. The red part is the highlight of procedure. And the blue part is the personal message. Alright, now you have figured out on how to write and present the process speech using the hamburger outline, right? Let's give it a try. Thank you for listening to my explanations and break a leg everyone. See you on the next meeting.